Okay, we will be on live on 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are live. You may begin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jose Valeriano, and I am pleased to introduce you to today's presenter, Katya Mejia Obando, that will be talking about cultural awareness competence in English teaching for tourism. Katya Alejandra Mejia Obando is an English teacher graduated from Universidad Pedagógica Nacional Francisco Morazán in 2007. She earned her master's degree in education at the Universidade Federal de São Carlos in Sao Paulo, Brazil. She currently works as an English teacher at Escuela Francisco Martínez Maradiaga, and she has been teaching English since 2008. And her favorite field of work is primary school with kids from 1st to 6th grade. Recently, she got a specialization in teaching English as a foreign language at Universidad Pedagógica Nacional in Mexico City. So please welcome Katya Mejia Obando. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jose. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, I recognize some people over here. So today I'm going to share with you basically a lesson plan, okay, a lesson plan which I implement in a class for tourism, English for tourism. I love teaching culture, okay. If you listen, Jose Valeriano, I made my master's degree in Brazil. Okay, so I love, even though that is nothing related to English, okay, I really appreciate the culture goal, okay, that I took for there, okay, and I have many cultures also to share. When I was studying my master degree, it was related to teaching English, okay, I defended in Portuñol. But it was related to teaching English in high school. I love teaching primary school, but today we are going to describe a little bit of this lesson plan that is related basically with the 4 skills, okay, as an EFL classroom is supposed to be, but we are focusing in a cultural awareness competences. So we're going to start describing what is culture. Some people relate culture with an iceberg. Why? Because sometimes we can only see the general aspect or the top of the iceberg, okay? We can only see like general aspect of a culture, but we don't see what is behind or down the iceberg, okay? As we can see over here. We take in account just the general aspect that we can see here, the language, the food, the heroes, okay, some customs, okay, but what is behind all that, okay? We have some moral aspects, some values, okay, and sometimes we are unconscious in how we acquire this type of aspects, okay, especially the values, okay, that we are not basically conscious about it. We are just doing what our grandparents or what our parents taught us to do, okay? But why culture is important to teach it in the classroom, okay? So we have different aspects. You're going to see over here many types, okay, that are kind of old, but when I was studying my master degree, my assessors told me that I have to go to the primary, okay? So that's why you're going to see sites from 1952, 1986, 2001, okay? And I really emphasize those sites because sometimes I know that we are like in a world of technology and all that, but sometimes we forget that we had those basic, okay, literature that we have to remind us, okay, in order to have like a good class. So according to Culver and Closure from 1952, we have different concepts of culture, okay? In the opinion of them, culture, it could be unconscious, okay? We can learn culture, you can learn through the 5 senses as an unconscious way. You have culture as a dynamic part, okay? It's not static, we always change it, okay? Culture is a social knowledge. Culture is contextual, a specific context for environment, for history, and culture sometimes is also learned, okay, from generation to generation, okay? So we have this one, and for me it's very important to take it into account, and especially in this environment of tourism that we share with different type of nationalities also when we are teaching English for tourism. And according to my lesson plan, okay, my teaching philosophy, I'm going to start what I believe, what helped me in this class to have it like a success class, okay? So my teaching philosophy basically is related to Krashen affective filtering hypothesis. In my classes, it could be like primary or university level or high school level. It's important for me to have like some empathy for the students, okay? Sometimes we forget that the students are there, and sometimes we as a teacher, we also forget that we are in front of the students. We have so many problems, okay? And we need to act, okay? So sometimes I'm not like in a good mood, okay, especially in the mornings, but I need to act, okay? I need to say to myself, Katya, you're going to enter to the class. You have like 40 students, 30 students. You need to pretend that you are very good, okay? You need to be empathic with the students. So affective filter affect, okay, the way that you teach in your classes. So this one, my teaching philosophy, for me, this one is very important. And sometimes as a teacher, we forget that, okay? And as a primary teacher, okay, because I graduated from Normal Mixta, I always emphasize this part. Affective filter is like a way, okay, that you can connect with the students and your class can be very successful. Okay, so remember this class, okay, I implemented in English for tourism, but I also use it, this my teaching philosophy, I use it in different levels, okay, not just in the one that I'm going to discuss at this audience. Now, we have also another aspect that I really take into consider, okay, collaborative dialogue, okay, for basic levels, okay, because this class was for basic levels, okay, it is very important that you understand that the students need to work in pairs or need to work in couples or need to work in groups, okay, because in that way, students can ask like in a confident way to their peers, okay, if they understood or not the aspects that you explain in the class. So this collaborative learning is very important for me, okay? And also the students have more confidence in themselves and asking their peers. I also have another teaching philosophy, okay? Remember that is my teaching philosophy. You will have your own, okay? Maybe this one will help you a little bit in your classes. This one is teaching listening skills, okay? In my classes, normally I teach basic level classes, okay? And for me, teaching listening skills, putting different audios, okay? Not just in US, okay? Here in Honduras, normally we say, no, US accent is better than the other ones because it's easy for me to understand that. No, but we have to be able to put different input, okay, or different audios in which countries speak English, okay, in order that the students can get used to, okay? So teaching listening skills for me is one of the important aspects that are related to my teaching philosophy. And I consider these three aspects, okay, for implementing my lesson plan. So this lesson plan I implemented, as I said it before, in English for tourism. It was at the public university where I work. It was beginners, okay, and we consider different environments here, restaurants, a variety of dishes, and of course, the term of culture. Okay, in my lesson plans, I have two different purposes. One was language purposes and the other was intercultural purpose. So in this one, we have the goals of understanding readings and audios that describe international restaurants and dishes by answering different comprehension exercises. So we are going to see, okay, over here, okay, this one is just a description of my lesson plans, and this one was the language purposes, understanding reading, applying intonation and a stress rule when they express their opinions by asking and answer questions, okay? and created a menu that shows international dishes using vocabulary learning classes. If you can see over here, okay, on the pictures, we can, not just US, okay, we can have different countries which speak English, okay. For example, here I put some images about British, okay, and also compare it to Honduran food. But this one was my language purposes, were my language purposes. And what is intercultural purpose? Remember when we write up word inter, just the word inter, okay, it is related to real communication, okay, with social communication. It has to deal with the purpose that you need your students to communicate, to speak, to understand in context what they're talking about or what they're listening about. Okay, so my intercultural purpose were guide students to reflect the cultures which speak English, not just only US. Okay, we have different countries that speak English, knowing different types of dishes that serve, especially in the United States and the UK, which are countries whose native language is English. Learning basically what they're doing here in my lesson plan or in my class, they were learning English through food, okay? Now, what are the rational or the theoretical aspect that is behind my lesson plan? Basically, it is related to communicative learning teaching approach. And I implement all the skills during my 5 sessions. Remember that this lesson plan, it wasn't like just on one session. I think it took me more than 5 sessions. Okay, but what I did is that I divide each skill, okay, in different dates. Okay, remember, I forgot to tell you, okay, that these class were during the pandemic 2021, okay, in the last period of 2021. So I have to be able to have like an interactive class through Zoom, okay, and also at the same time that we're learning vocabulary. Now, what is the theoretical background of this? The reading, what was my goal over here? Identifying the main facts of the A restaurant from the reading eating out. Okay, what do we have behind this? Okay, I hope this can help you to guide you, okay, not just in the practical way, but it has like a theoretical part behind every single activity. So we have the comprehensible input, okay, even though there was a basic level, okay, Crash and talk about to take the level to a little bit more, okay, not just giving the easy way. So I gave to my students a reading in which they could understand main words, but at the same time to assimilate, okay, the meaning of the whole reading without understanding every single word, okay? So that's why the theoretical background over here, even though that it says 1981, okay, it is related to having a comprehensible input, also related in context, okay? The content schemata, okay, is not just input because it's an input, okay, it has to have a context over here, okay, because the students understand a little bit more if you take into account, why are we learning this? Why are we comparing this? Is this helpful for me? Is familiar for me or not? Okay, so we need to take it as a content schemas. And also the O'Malley, okay, which is related to top down. We take into account as a whole thing and then we divide it, okay, as a specific one. So we provide in my class, as I said before, okay, in my class, what I did is to give the whole reading, okay, the whole reading. At the beginning, the students were like, what is this? We don't understand the whole thing, okay, because it was basic. But I give them that, like, the confidence, okay? I say to them, calm down, we're gonna read it together, okay? We're gonna do it little by little, and I'm going to do a lot of mimics. I present a lot of pictures in order that they can understand. Okay, so we do it like a general aspects, and then we do it like a specific, especially if they don't understand some words. And also it was helpful for me because we were working like in technology, using a dictionary, a virtual dictionary that they don't, that at these times, okay, sometimes the students, they don't like to search for new words, okay? So I teach them, okay, how to look for words, English meaning, okay, not just translated from Google, okay, it's just English meaning, okay, for any virtual dictionary that happens to get the meaning of the reading, okay? So that one was for reading. Okay, this class of reading took me like 2 days to accomplish the whole purpose. Okay, it wasn't like easy because we were like in Zoom classes. Now, for speaking, what do I have for speaking? Express their ideas about American fast food, emphasizing intonation and stress and oral questions and answers. All these skills, okay, they have their own goals, okay, but all of them are related to culture, but culture through food, okay? So we were learning cultures in which the countries speak English, and we were learning through food, okay? Now, in speaking, what is the theoretical background that I have on here? Integration skills, okay, and meaningful drills. Meaningful drills, it means that even though that I wasn't in a class, okay, like in the classroom, okay, I was saying to Maria, do you have this question? And Jose, give the answer. Listen to Maria. It's the same thing, right? To having like that, to having that time for them to speaking, okay? So it's necessary to the teacher, like at this step, to be like just controlling a little bit and give the time for the teacher to give the time to the students to speak, okay? So meaningful drills, okay, that is the purpose. To have like some clues, okay, of the questions. Students analyze what type of questions they're going to ask, of course, about the content, don't forget about the content, and then ask a question to one student, and then that student, for the things that he knows about American fast food, okay, he will answer that, okay? And what do we have? Remember, this one is to have a quiz, a sequence, okay? Not all the time it has to be reading, writing. Okay, we have like an input reading, then we have the production, okay, the output is speaking, then we have another input, and then we have the production over here, okay? You can mix, okay, as a teacher, we can mix, not all the time it has to be like reading, writing, listening, speaking, okay? So in this case, I mix a little bit. And improving, what do we have in listening? Improve listening for a specific information through a conversation between two British, okay? So over here, we change it, okay? And England is a country which native language is English, okay? And we are also mixing or knowing a little bit of British culture, because most of the time students know what is a fast food, okay? We also have it here in Honduras, but what about England? Do we know anything about England or UK? Okay, so I implemented an audio, and it was hard. This activity was hard, okay, because it was British accent. So I implement culture stage listening, that it was a step by step, okay, to become, why do I implement this one? In order that they can become aware, okay, of their listening skills. Okay, now we have another production over here. And this one is related, all that is related to culture, but this one is more emphasized, okay, because it's related to elaborate a menu taking in account the information learned through the previous lessons. So they get together all that information that we're learning through the classes, and they also implemented or relate, okay, contrast the Honduran culture, because I'm a Honduran, people who is not from Honduras and they're listening to me, okay, they contrast the cultures that they were learning, okay, and with their own culture. So they wrote, okay, a menu. I divide the class in different groups, in 4 or 5 groups, and they were specifying, for example, one group, they supposed to make a menu related to food from US. Another group were related to a menu related to UK food. And another group was related to make from, for example, for Australia, who is which is another country that speaks English, and Honduran also, because we also need to take in account, okay, the country that we are living, okay, and contrast. Don't forget about that aspect, okay? And we have this part of assessment. Okay, we have formative assessment in my class during my sessions, okay? I have formative assessment and evaluative, okay, or analytical rubric. What do I have in formative assessment, okay? I evaluate, okay, or assessed, better assessed, okay, the speaking skill, okay? Why formative? Because it's an ongoing process, it's a student progress, okay? You can say it over here if the student is implementing what you are teaching them, okay? By making this simple rule, okay? It doesn't have points. If you look at this one, it's just an assessed, okay? It doesn't have points, but it helps to the students, okay, to understand if he needs more practice or if she or he did like a good job. Remember that one of my goals, okay, were related to intonation, stress and intonation, that sometimes in Spanish, we don't have it or we don't use it, okay? That's why we ask, are you asking me or are you telling me, okay? So that's why it's very important to emphasize stress and intonation when we are learning English, okay? So this assessment, I did it with this rubric, okay? Rubric, sometimes it could be like a tedious job, okay? But it's very helpful for the students to see their evolution, okay? In a language that they are learning. And also in writing, this one is an evaluation. If you can see the differences between the previous one and this evaluation, okay, it has some points over here, okay? I evaluate the menu that they did, okay, the menu that they did in my class, and I took in account different aspects, okay, to evaluate over here, imitating writing and aspects as a restaurant the name. If he did it, I just mark with colors over here, and menu sections, pictures, and creative or effort. Even though that it was a basic level, guys, teachers, okay, it is very helpful to have this type of rubrics because you can just color, okay, the points that you're going to give to your students, okay, and also they discriminate in the things that they are missing, because sometimes we only write like 10 out of 15, and the students doesn't know why, okay? So it is very important. At the beginning, for example, me doing this rubric, it was kind of hard, okay, to identify all the answers, but then when I was checking, I was just coloring, and I was saying because of this, and this, okay, because you didn't take into account the process, or because you didn't take into account different things.
After we were allowed back to our offline classrooms.
Know me? Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
No, you were having the microphone on.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
Don't worry, sweetheart. Hi. Okay, guys. And why in writing I implement the cultural input, okay? And this one, students don't forget, okay, because they are doing something, okay, they don't forget what they learn from different countries, okay. For example, the group that it has from US, okay, they apply, maybe they didn't know that they eat different type of food at the breakfast or desserts or at lunch, okay. The Australia, they didn't know any type of food that they eat over there. So that's one is very important because the students can create, they can be very creative, okay, they become creative, they can explore, they're going to search, okay, they're going to be curious about it, okay, maybe because they don't know, okay, and they look for the information and they go into that culture because they seem like very interesting and they can simulate, or they can have some differences between their Honduran culture, their own culture, the students' culture, and the culture that they're looking for. So intercultural communication is very important for them, okay? By making this type of exercises or making this type of project, okay, help the students to know, okay? So we need to be able, as a teachers, we need to be able to connect those ideas, okay? Remember that the teachers need to give the input to understand the world, to communicate across linguistic and cultural boundaries. And students need to understand new cultures and new perspective also, okay? So teachers need to provide that opportunity, okay, to the students, and also to communicate through different projects that are related to different cultures too. So these one are the these one are some of the activities that I implement in my class. I think, I don't know if some of you were in Canvas right now that we were, I think Miss Cindy was explaining how to use Canvas. And nowadays, the students love Canvas. Since students always say, Canvas, Miss, I have to pay for an account and make some formats, okay, in order to have like, progress in my classes, and it's very helpful for them. Okay, they always found it very interesting. Okay, and remember, all of this I applied like in 2021. Okay, it was some pandemic, so technology, you have to use it or you have to use it. Okay, and this one, this picture is related to the audio. Okay, I don't know if you remember that at the when I was explaining the theoretical background of my class. Okay, it was related to British accent. Okay, so I took like 40 or the whole class, okay, because I was playing and played that audio because it was like a British accent, and for the students at the beginning it was hard, but later if they were able to discriminate, okay, some clue words that help them to fill in the whole room, the whole activity. Okay, so which one are my final thoughts on this activity? Okay, creative effective lesson plan is a hard duty to do. I totally understand that we can spend many hours, okay, especially taking into account the 4 main skills, and imagine having other type of skills, okay, and a lesson plan or doing like a theoretical lesson plan is kind of hard duty to do. But nowadays we have facilities to create different and creative lesson plans. Okay, and sometimes we forget details of teaching culture of target language. Okay, maybe we do it like in a conscious way. Okay, sometimes we are not conscious. Okay, as Jose Emilio was saying, that I work in a public school. Okay, I have to, because I don't have like a book for this. Okay, I need to select the topics that I will teach. So teaching the culture, okay, in the target language that the students are learning in my public schools is very important. Okay, because they see, okay, different perspectives, they understand, and they can compare, okay, their own world. Okay, what all I have also students, they don't have access to internet. So during this class, okay, or having these type of classes that I teach culture, different cultures to them, they assume, okay, that it is totally different, okay, from their own values. Okay, so maybe something that we assume that students will learn automatically. Okay, sometimes we all teacher focuses just on grammar. Okay, and we forget about how to teach culture or how to give the input of culture in our classes. Okay, in order that students can escape a little bit in that aspect. We need to adapt the material we use to aid students in producing more than just correct grammatical sentences. Okay, so this one in public school especially is very important, okay, because my students don't have access to books, okay, or different photocopies. Okay, they don't have enough money to afford that. So I need to be able to adapt the material that I can find in internet, okay, to change some of the words that help my students to understand the target language that they are learning. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so this was my lesson plan, and I have many different thank you over here, like thank you, obrigado, merci. Mr. Jesus left in order to have the good pronunciation over here. Gracias. Okay, I don't know if you have any questions or comments that you want to share with us. Guys. Not at all. Some public teachers from here that want to share some opinions about your experience as a teacher. No? Okay, Jose. I think that's it. I hope that you take advantage of this, or that you have like a new perspective of a lesson plan, or how you teach a lesson plans, to have an like a reflective lesson plans, you could say. Any
Thank
question?
you. Oh, sorry.
Nope.
It
No,
seems
it's okay.
that we don't have more questions, but thank you for your presentation. Hopefully we can apply this knowledge in our future classrooms, because I think it's something that we need right now. And just to thank everyone that was here for your time, for listening to Miss Katya, and I hope you enjoy this presentation again. And remember that you can access the Sway link if you want to see the upcoming presentations. You can access there and watch them on YouTube. So that's it, and thank you for your time, and thank you, Miss Katya.
Okay, thank you, Jose,
you,
and
thank
thank you,
you. It
thank
was
you,
great.
Noemi.
It was great. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Miss Mejia. Thank you.
I thank you, Doctor. I didn't know that you were here. Thank
I'm
you,
always
guys.
watching. I'm always
Uh,
watching, listening.
okay.
They're hiding. She's hiding.
But I
Okay.
hide. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys, and thank you, teachers. Bye-bye.